pretty special connection Kelly and I are going to have for the rest of our lives now. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Two Huntsville women who were in Nepal when that devastating earthquake struck a couple of weeks ago are sharing their story. Brandy Van Gelder and Kelly Hammond joined our Melissa Candelaria in studio Thursday afternoon to recount the experience of when the quake hit.
And it just went completely dark and black, and the power went out. And I guess within seconds, within the same time frame, although to me I distinctly remember the power going off and not being sure what was happening, because usually power goes off and everything's fine, but there was immediately some hollers and screams and loud rumbling noises is what I remembered when the lights went off. But then I realized my legs were shaking. That's when it happened. And for me, it was around a corner. I couldn't see much. All I could see was the tee shop man and a glimpse of Kelly, because it was so dark and there was just a little bit of light coming in from the street. And everything just started to shake. Things started coming off the walls. Next thing I know, I was bouncing back and forth between the walls and barely even able to keep my legs erect and standing. And it was that aggressive. And I'm sure that was only 2 seconds, but it seemed like 2 minutes. And Kelly recognized what was happening, and she'd experienced this before from being in Japan for a few years. She had been through some earthquakes, but she yelled, "This is an earthquake. We need to get out."
I just thought, I'm not getting buried in here. This isn't where this is supposed to end, so I need to get out of here. And I said, "Let's go." Like I had assumed that she was behind me, and sort of in the rocking was thrust out the door. And I remember looking up and thinking, I shouldn't be looking up because, most people get injured from falling things. So I quickly looked around, and there was a little bit of a clearing. I thought I need to get over there because I just need to get away from these buildings. And as I sort of kind of made the decision, everything's really in slow motion at that point too. Things just slow right down, and so much was going through my head, and I knew exactly what was going on. But you don't know what decisions to make too. I mean, it's luck of the draw. If you're in or out, you don't know if a building's coming down or if it's going to be the safe place to stay. You don't know that. So just as I was thinking, I need to move out of this spot, I could see things starting to fall, and at that point the bricks from above started to fall on, and I was hit on my shoulder, and it was substantial and almost threw me to the ground. But I can remember thinking, this can't be happening, because I have a daughter at home, so this isn't happening. And people were screaming and running by me, and suddenly I thought I got to move because things were still falling. And I kind of looked up. There was this man saying, "Come, come," and it was a little Nepalese man, just a young guy in a bright yellow shirt, I can remember. And he grabbed my hand and he pulled me under this big tree. And why there's a tree in the middle of this little street is, I was lucky that it was there. It was a small clearing. And he pulled me under and he held me so tight, and I just kept looking at the door of the tea shop, and I kept thinking, where is she? Where is Brandy? Why isn't she coming out? And I was looking at the bricks falling, and I thought, I need to know where that door is, because if something happens, I need to know where to go to get her. So
you can catch the entire interview in an hour-long special edition of TV Kojiko News, Monday at 7 p.m.